The stars stretched endlessly in every direction, sparkling against the black canvas of space. For most people, the universe seemed calm and beautiful, but for Captain Rian Voss, it was a place full of opportunity and danger. Rian piloted a small salvage ship called the Pathfinder. It wasn't the fastest or the most powerful vessel, but it was reliable and smart. Rian had been traveling the outskirts of human space for months, looking for abandoned ships, lost cargo, and anything that could be sold to keep the small colony he lived in running. Money was never easy to find, and space was an expensive place to survive. Today, the scanner beeped with an unusual signal. "Rian, you should check that," said his ship AI, a calm female voice named Lyra. "It's old. Really old." Rian leaned forward, adjusting the scanner. The signal was coming from a massive spaceship, floating silently in the void. Its surface was dark and covered in strange markings that didn't match any human design he had ever seen. "Lyra, how old do you think it is?" Rian asked. "Preliminary scan suggests at least 120 years, Lyra replied. "It is beyond any known human technology. It should have decayed long ago." Rian's eyes widened. "So it's basically a ghost ship. Perfect." Ghost ships were rare. Most abandoned vessels broke apart, burned out, or were claimed by scavengers long before anyone found them. But a ghost ship that survived over a century, that was something else entirely. He pushed the controls forward, and the Pathfinder glided closer to the enormous vessel. Its hull shimmered faintly under the starlight, and Rian could feel the energy humming through the ship's walls. He had never felt anything like it. It was alive in some way, even though no one had touched it for over 100 years. "Lyra, scan for life signs," Rian ordered. Scanning. Nothing detected. But there is a faint energy signature deep inside. Unusual patterns, something artificial, but different. Rian smiled. That was enough for him. He had always believed in the thrill of discovery. "We're boarding it," he said. Docking was tricky. The ship's docking ports were ancient, and the design was alien. But Rian was patient. He adjusted the magnetic clamps, and finally, the Pathfinder latched onto the ghost ship. Rian put on his helmet, double-checked the oxygen levels, and opened the hatch. The airlock hissed, and the interior of the ship revealed itself. It was quiet, too quiet. The corridors were vast, lined with smooth metallic walls that reflected a faint blue glow. Panels along the walls displayed symbols that changed as he approached. As if reacting to his presence, he walked cautiously, his boots echoing in the emptiness. "Lyra, can you read these symbols?" he asked. "No," the AI replied. "They do not match any human language or code in my database." Rian frowned. "So, we're dealing with someone else entirely." He continued walking, the hum of the ship growing louder. The air felt different here, thicker, charged with energy. He couldn't explain it, but he felt like the ship was aware of him, watching him. As he reached a large chamber in the center, he gasped. The room was enormous, with a high ceiling and walls that curved like the inside of a giant egg. In the center, there was a console floating in the air, glowing softly. It was covered with symbols, but they pulsed as if alive. Rian reached out cautiously. The console reacted instantly, projecting a holographic display in front of him. He could see images of distant planets, strange stars, and alien creatures he had never imagined. Lyra's voice trembled slightly, unusual for an AI. "Captain, this is extraordinary. The ship contains records of a civilization far older and more advanced than humanity." Rian felt a shiver of excitement. This wasn't just a salvage mission anymore. He had stumbled upon a treasure trove of knowledge, possibly the most significant discovery in human history. As he explored, he noticed something else. The ship had been abandoned, but not in a hurry. Objects were in place, as if the owner had simply stepped away. There were no signs of damage, no battle scars, no life signs, just perfect preservation. He followed the pulsing energy deeper into the ship. It led him to another chamber, smaller and darker. There, in the middle of the room, was a pod of some kind. It looked like a coffin, but it was alive. The faint energy came from it. "What is this?" Rian whispered. Lyra's voice was calm but firm. "Unknown. Suggest caution." Rian approached the pod. Symbols glowed along its edges, and he felt a strange warmth as he touched it. A sudden flash of light filled the room, and his mind was flooded with images, visions of stars, planets, and galaxies he had never seen. He pulled back, dizzy. "Lyra, did you see that?" "Yes," she said. "The energy is intelligent. It is trying to communicate." Rian's curiosity overcame his fear. He carefully opened the pod. Inside, there was nothing. At least, nothing that looked alive. But the energy pulsing from it grew stronger, and a voice soft, almost musical, filled his mind. "Who awakens me?" Rian stumbled back, shocked. He had expected AI signals, but not this a real, conscious presence. I'm Rian Voss," he said slowly. "I found your ship, and I mean no harm." "Why have you come?" the voice asked. Rian swallowed. "Curiosity and survival. I salvage old ships to help my colony. But your ship, it's incredible. I wanted to see it." "Curiosity," the voice repeated, almost amused. "You are human, curious, fragile, and capable of great things." Rian felt a thrill. This ship was not just abandoned, it belonged to a being intelligent enough to speak across space and time. He realized the potential here. The knowledge in this ship could change humanity's understanding of the universe forever. As he explored further, he found storage rooms filled with alien devices, strange glowing crystals, and tools beyond human imagination. Lyra ran scans, and even she couldn't comprehend the technology fully. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Every corner held a new surprise, every symbol a puzzle to solve. Rian's excitement grew, but so did his sense of responsibility. This was not a normal salvage mission, it was history, knowledge, and possibly power in one. He returned to the central chamber and sat, studying the floating console. The voice spoke again, calm but curious. "Why do you seek knowledge?" "To survive," Rian said honestly. "To understand, and to help others. Humanity, we make mistakes, but we also try to do good. We are more than our mistakes." There was silence. Then the voice seemed to consider him. "Perhaps you are worthy, but you must be careful. Others will come." Rian frowned. "Others?" "Greedy, violent ones. Those who see knowledge as power to take, not to protect. They will come for the ship." Rian's heart raced. He had been thinking about profit and discovery, but now he realized there was a danger he had never imagined. He had to protect this ship, the knowledge, and possibly the unknown being connected to it. He made a decision. "Lyra, we're not just salvaging. We're claiming this ship and defending it." The AI responded with a note of concern. "Captain, this may be more dangerous than you realize. We are dealing with technology far beyond our understanding." "I know," Rian said, "but it's worth it. For humanity, and for knowledge." He spent the next hours exploring deeper sections of the ship, documenting everything he found. Strange doors, alien machinery, and star maps stretched farther than human records. Each discovery was a puzzle, each symbol a key to understanding the alien civilization that had created this vessel. By the time he returned to the central chamber, Rian felt exhausted but alive. He had discovered something extraordinary, something that could redefine humanity's place in the universe. And yet, the ghost ship held more secrets than he could imagine. Above all, he knew one thing. He was not alone, and the ship's mysterious owner, though dormant or hidden, was watching, waiting to see what humanity would do next. As Rian prepared to spend the night aboard the vessel, he stared out at the stars through a viewport. The ship drifted silently in the void, a monument to a civilization long gone but not forgotten, and deep inside, the pulsing energy from the pod seemed to hum in approval, or perhaps in challenge. Humanity is curious, but can you be worthy? The silent voice seemed to ask. Rian clenched his fists. We'll see, he whispered. We'll see. The silence of the abandoned spaceship was no longer just eerie, it was alive with expectation. Captain Rian Voss had spent the night in a small chamber near the ship's core. Sleep was restless. Every hum, every faint pulse of energy made him feel watched, but he was determined. Whatever secrets this ship held, he would uncover them. When morning, or what passed for morning in the void of space, arrived, Rian activated the central console. The holographic star maps flickered to life again, displaying distant worlds, some of which had never appeared in human records. Lyra, his AI, processed the data rapidly. Captain, she said, this star map shows systems that are over 1,000 light-years beyond human exploration. Some of these planets may not even support life as we know it. Rian leaned closer. The colors on the hologram shifted as his hands hovered above the symbols. This isn't just a ship, he whispered. It's a library. A map. A guide. As he explored the controls, he noticed a section of the console that reacted differently to his touch. The symbols pulsed faster, and a faint light expanded from the floor beneath it. Suddenly, a small compartment opened in the wall, revealing a sleek pod. Unlike the first stasis pod he had seen, this one was empty but had inscriptions that glowed in response to his presence. What do you make of this, Lyra? He asked. It appears to be a storage vessel, the AI replied. But its energy signature is active, suggesting it holds data or something else entirely. Rian approached, cautiously touching the glowing inscriptions. The moment his fingers made contact, the ship shivered slightly, as if reacting to his presence. Then, the holographic console displayed images, dozens of them, moving rapidly, showing alien landscapes, strange creatures, and structures that defied human architecture. He gasped, These are records of the alien who owned this ship." Lyra's voice was calm but tinged with awe. "Captain, this technology is unlike anything we've ever seen. It seems sentient." Rian nodded, barely able to contain his excitement. "It wants to communicate. It's leaving messages for anyone who might find it." Hours turned into a full day as Rian worked, deciphering the alien holograms. Some showed worlds rich with life. Some depicted planets scarred by disaster. Others showed strange machines, floating in the void, seemingly alive. But the most startling discovery came when Rian accessed the ship's deeper archives. A new chamber opened before him as he entered a long, narrow corridor. The walls were covered with glowing alien symbols that danced and shifted as he walked past. At the end of the hall was another stasis pod, larger than the first, with faint pulses of energy emanating from inside. Rian's heart raced. Could this be the alien owner? The energy signature suggested life. But how could it survive all these years? He approached slowly. "Lyra, life signs, minimal but detectable," Lyra responded. "Suspended animation of some kind. Captain, this being is alive. Technically, it has been alive for more than a century." Rian swallowed. This was bigger than anything he had imagined. He had found alien life. Alive and intact. Preserved for over 100 years. His hands trembled as he touched the pod, careful not to damage it. Suddenly, the pod's surface shimmered, and a soft light filled the room. The air seemed to vibrate with energy, and the voice spoke in his mind, not words, but feelings and images that he understood instinctively. "Who are you?" "I'm Rian Voss," he replied, his voice barely a whisper. "I found your ship. I mean no harm. I want to learn." The energy pulsed stronger. "Learning? Why?" "Humans are curious. But curiosity is often dangerous." "I know," Rian admitted. We make mistakes, but we also try to do good. I want to understand and protect. The ship seemed to pause. Then, in a surge of energy, the pod opened. A figure emerged, tall and graceful, unlike anything human. Its skin shimmered like polished metal, and its eyes glowed softly with intelligence. The being looked at him curiously, studying him with a gaze that felt like it could see every thought. Rian froze, both in awe and fear. You're real. The being tilted its head, almost in amusement. And you are human. Fragile. Curious. And surprisingly bold. Rian swallowed, trying to calm his racing heart. I didn't know anyone would survive. I thought you might be gone. Gone? The alien echoed, its voice gentle but layered with meaning. No. I am preserved. Waiting. Watching. Learning. And now, you. Rian stepped forward slowly, keeping his hands visible. I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to understand your ship. Your mission. Whatever you were doing out here. The being's gaze softened slightly. Curiosity, a strength and a weakness. Very well. I will share what you can comprehend. Images flooded Rian's mind. Massive battles across galaxies. Advanced civilizations rising and falling. And a technology capable of reshaping worlds. The alien had been a traveler, an explorer of the universe, documenting knowledge and protecting powerful tools from falling into the wrong hands. This is incredible, Rian whispered. All of this, it's a record of your life, your work, your civilization. It is more than a record, the being replied. It is a warning. Knowledge is dangerous. Those who seek it for greed will destroy themselves and others. Rian nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on him. I understand. I won't misuse it. I promise. Humans, the alien murmured, almost to itself. Few are worthy. Few have courage, intelligence, and restraint combined. Perhaps you may be one. The bond between them was strange and fragile. Rian could feel the alien's awareness within the ship, guiding him subtly, testing him. Each discovery he made revealed more about the alien's mission, the galaxies it had visited, and the threats it had faced. Hours passed in exploration. Rian learned to interact with the ship's systems, realizing that many of the symbols responded to his touch, adapting human actions into alien commands. Lyra helped translate what she could, but even she admitted that the technology was beyond full human understanding. Then came a moment of tension. As Rian was examining a storage chamber filled with strange crystalline objects, Lyra warned him, Captain, sensors indicate movement outside the ship. Human ships, approaching fast. Rian's stomach sank. Scavengers? He asked. Yes, Lyra said. And they are heavily armed. They may have detected the ship's energy signature. Rian's mind raced. He had been so focused on discovery that he hadn't considered competition. He knew immediately that these scavengers would not care about knowledge. They wanted the ship for themselves. And if they got it, the alien's secrets could be lost, or worse, misused. We can't let them take this, he said firmly. Not just for us. For the galaxy. The alien regarded him silently. You are willing to fight? To risk yourself for knowledge and life that is not your own? I am, Rian said without hesitation. The ship responded. Symbols glowed brighter, and the pulsing energy grew stronger. It was as if the vessel recognized his intent. The alien's voice filled his mind again. Then we shall prepare. You will need to learn quickly, human. The danger is near, and only cooperation will keep us alive. Rian spent the next few hours adapting human tools to the ship's advanced systems. He learned to manipulate energy fields, activate defensive protocols, and even use some of the alien technology to create barriers and traps. The alien guided him, but it allowed him to make choices and solutions on his own, a test of his ingenuity. As the enemy ships approached, Rian could see them through the viewport, 3 sleek vessels, moving with deadly precision. He took a deep breath, his hands steady on the controls. This was no longer just exploration, it was defense, a battle to protect knowledge that could change the fate of civilizations. The ship itself seemed to respond to his determination. Energy flared along the hull, symbols shifting to form a defensive interface. The alien's presence was now almost tangible, standing beside him in spirit, watching, guiding, and judging. "Lyra, let's get ready," Rian said, his voice calm despite the tension. "They want the ship. They won't take it without a fight." The alien's voice pulsed in his mind. "Then, show me the strength of your species. Show me why curiosity can be worth the risk." Rian nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. Humanity had always been fragile in the universe. But this was a chance to prove they were more than survival instincts and simple ambition. He had the alien's guidance, the ship's power, and his own courage. Together, they were ready to face what was coming. Outside, the enemy ships closed in, unaware that the abandoned vessel was no longer defenseless. Inside, Rian and the alien prepared for the test that would determine not only the fate of the ship, but the respect of humanity in the eyes of a far older, far wiser being. And in that moment, the stars themselves seemed to watch, waiting to see if humanity could rise to the challenge. The void of space was alive with motion. 3 scavenger ships cut through the darkness like predatory birds, moving with deadly precision toward the abandoned alien vessel. Captain Rian Voss gripped the controls of the Pathfinder. Though he wasn't piloting the ship this time, he had decided to stay aboard the alien vessel. Its systems were advanced and responsive, and he needed every moment to understand and control them. The alien companion, its form tall, elegant, and shimmering, stood silently within the central chamber. Its energy pulsed in tune with the ship, almost as if it were alive in tandem with the vessel. Rian had started calling it Kale, a simple name that the alien seemed to accept. Though Kale didn't speak in human language, its thoughts communicated clearly in Rian's mind. "They approach quickly," Kale projected. "Human vessels, yet dangerous. Their intent is clear. Take the ship, regardless of consequences." Rian nodded. "We'll need traps, diversions, anything to slow them down until I can figure out a way to use the ship against them." "Good." Kale's energy pulsed brighter. "Your ingenuity will be tested. Do not underestimate your species." Rian felt a surge of pride mixed with determination. Humanity had always survived against odds that seemed impossible, relying on creativity, courage, and quick thinking. Now, in the presence of a being far older and wiser, he had to prove it again. The first step was to understand the ship's defensive systems. The vessel responded to Kale's presence, and Rian realized he could manipulate energy fields, activate force barriers, and even create illusions of ships to mislead the enemy. He set to work immediately, pacing the control room as he activated panels, tapped glowing symbols, and learned to speak the alien language of light and energy. Lyra, his AI, assisted with translations and calculations. "Captain, the energy fields are stable, but the ship is responding unpredictably," Lyra warned. "It's almost as if it senses your intent and adjusts itself accordingly." "That's fine," Rian replied. "We're going to use that to our advantage." Outside, the scavenger ships closed in. They were fast, heavily armed, and clearly experienced in attacking abandoned vessels. But they had never faced anything like this. The alien ship's hull shimmered with pulsing light, making it hard to lock onto with conventional weapons. Rian initiated the first trap. He manipulated the ship's energy field to create a false image of the vessel moving in one direction while the real ship drifted silently elsewhere. Missiles fired by the scavengers flew past harmlessly, exploding against empty space. "Nice work, human," Kale projected in his mind. "You understand deception. That is an advantage of your species." Rian smiled, though tension tightened his chest. "Thanks. But we're not done yet." He worked fast, combining human technology with Kale's alien systems. Energy barriers formed around key sections of the ship, and automated drones crafted from alien parts, but controlled by human programming, hovered silently, ready to intercept any boarding attempts. The scavenger ships weren't fooled for long. They adjusted their course, moving closer to the vessel, firing energy pulses that slammed against the alien ship's hull. Sparks and ripples of energy danced across the surfaces, but the defenses held firm. Rian realized they needed more than defense, they needed offense. He looked to Kale. "Can the ship fight?" he projected. "Yes," Kale replied. "But it requires coordination. Your species' creativity must merge with my knowledge." Rian nodded, taking a deep breath. He began experimenting, sending energy pulses through the alien vessel's systems, learning how to direct them like a conductor guiding an orchestra. Slowly, he created a defensive lattice of energy beams that could strike and block simultaneously. The first scavenger ship got too close. Rian triggered the system. Beams of energy lanced out from the alien vessel, striking the enemy ship's engines. It veered off course, spinning helplessly in space. The other two scavengers fired back, but Rian had anticipated them. He redirected energy fields to reflect their attacks away, saving the ship from damage. "Impressive," Kale projected. "Your species learns quickly," Rian grinned, though his heart raced. "We're not finished. We need them gone, not just stalled." He analyzed their formation and realized a human trick could be combined with Kale's alien energy. Create a temporary warp distortion. Using the ship's systems, Rian generated a small but powerful gravitational field that mimicked a collapsing star. It pulled the nearest scavenger ship slightly off course, sending it spinning uncontrollably. The ship's AI assisted, keeping the calculations precise. Lyra's voice was steady but impressed. "Captain, you are using human intuition with alien power. This is unprecedented." Rian didn't reply. He focused, hands moving across the glowing panels, learning to synchronize with Kale's energy pulses. The remaining two scavenger ships fired relentlessly, but each time Rian anticipated them, forcing them into positions where the alien vessel's energy could counterattack safely. "You are showing determination and intelligence," Kale projected. "These are traits I value. But this will not be enough. They are persistent." Rian swallowed. Kyle was right. The scavengers were not ordinary pirates. They were experienced and ruthless. The fight would last longer than he had hoped. But he had an idea. "Lyra, help me combine the ship's sensors with my targeting system," he said. "We can predict their movements before they happen. Then we can force them to leave." "Calculating." Lyra's voice hummed with energy. "It's risky. The alien systems may not fully integrate with human predictions. We don't have a choice," Rian said. "We either fight smart, or we lose everything." Working in tandem, Rian, Lyra, and Kale created a new system: predictive energy traps. Every movement of the scavenger ships was analyzed instantly, and energy beams fired at the exact point they would be, creating a net that left the enemy with nowhere to safely maneuver. The first of the two ships was caught. Its engines overloaded from the energy strikes, forcing it to retreat. The last ship hesitated, scanning and firing, but Rian's system was ready. A carefully calculated energy pulse struck its propulsion systems, leaving it stranded momentarily. Rian smiled despite the tension. "One more." Using a combination of human ingenuity and Kale's alien technology, Rian created a holographic image of a fleet appearing behind the scavenger. The illusion was convincing. The enemy pilot believed reinforcements had arrived and decided to retreat, leaving the abandoned vessel untouched. The battle was over. The alien ship hovered silently, untouched and unharmed. Rian leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. Kale's energy pulsed warmly. "You are remarkable, human. Few of your kind would risk themselves for knowledge and life, not their own." Rian shook his head. "It's not about me. It's about humanity, and doing what's right. Perhaps your species has potential," Kale projected. "You demonstrate courage, creativity, and determination. You are worthy of the knowledge I possess. Rian's heart raced. He realized that this was more than just a fight. It was a test. The alien vessel, its systems, and Kale himself had evaluated him. Humanity's resilience, adaptability, and courage had been recognized by a being far older and wiser than himself. There is much you can learn, Kale projected, and much you can teach. The galaxy is full of danger and opportunity. Together, we can protect what must be protected. Rian nodded. Then teach me. Help me understand your mission. We can't let this knowledge fall into the wrong hands. Agreed, Kale said. But you must act quickly. Others will come. Not all are as predictable or cautious as the scavengers you just faced. Rian felt a chill, realizing that the galaxy was more dangerous than he had imagined. But he also felt a surge of determination. Humanity had survived against odds before. And now, in partnership with KL, they had the chance to rise to something greater. Hours passed as Rian learned the alien systems, exploring parts of the ship that even scavengers would never understand. KL guided him, teaching him to manipulate energy fields, read alien symbols, and access star maps showing civilizations long forgotten. Rian's excitement was tempered by the weight of responsibility. This knowledge was powerful. In the wrong hands, it could destroy entire worlds. He had to protect it, not just for himself, but for humanity, and for the galaxy itself. As he rested briefly in the command chamber, staring at the stars through the viewport, he realized something. The alien had not only tested him, it had given humanity a chance, and humanity, he knew, would rise to meet it. We are ready, Rian whispered, more to himself than anyone else. Let's protect this galaxy. Together. Kale's energy pulsed in response, almost like a smile. Together, it projected. And now, the real journey begins. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. But for the first time, Rian felt confident that humanity had a role not just as survivors, but as guardians, explorers, and protectors of knowledge far older than themselves. The abandoned spaceship, once a lonely relic, drifting through the void, was now alive with purpose. Humanity had proven its courage. Kale had chosen an ally, and the galaxy was about to witness the strength of a species determined to rise, no matter the odds. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the viewport of the alien vessel, calm and silent, yet filled with the promise of danger. Captain Rian Voss stood in the central chamber, beside Kale, the ancient alien being whose energy pulsed gently through the ship. For the first time, Rian felt a deep connection not just to the vessel, but to the universe itself. He had survived the attack of the scavengers, adapted human ingenuity to alien technology, and earned the trust of Kale. But he knew that this was only the beginning. Knowledge as powerful as that contained in this ship would attract others. There were always those who sought power without understanding, those who valued greed over responsibility. Lyra, Rian said, glancing at his AI companion, scan for any signs of other ships in nearby systems. We need to know if the danger is over, or if it's only just beginning. The AI's calm voice replied, scanning. Negative for now. Captain. No immediate threats detected within a 50 light-year radius. However, residual energy signatures suggest potential interest in this sector. Rian nodded. That was enough for now. He turned to Kale, who hovered nearby in the soft glow of the ship's energy. Kale, I want to learn everything. About your mission, your civilization, the technology. I want to make sure humanity can protect this knowledge, not just stumble into it by accident. The alien's voice filled his mind, calm and steady. You are ready to learn. Few of your kind have shown this level of responsibility. But understanding is only the first step. Action is the second. Rian took a deep breath. Then let's start with the first step. Kale guided him through the ship's archives, showing him worlds that humanity had never imagined, civilizations that had risen and fallen, and technologies that could manipulate energy, matter, and even the fabric of space itself. Rian was amazed, not just by the scope, but by the care with which Kale had preserved these records. Every piece of knowledge was catalogued, not for conquest, but for protection. "This is incredible," Rian whispered. "I can't believe all of this existed, and no one knew." The I, 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 few would have survived the journey that created it, Kale replied. Few could comprehend it without destroying themselves in the attempt, Rian nodded solemnly. Humanity was fragile, but Kale had seen potential courage, creativity, and moral judgment that made him trust Rian, and by extension, humanity itself. As they explored further, a new alert flashed on the ship's sensors. Lyra's voice broke the silence. "Captain, incoming transmission. Unidentified vessel. Closing fast. It's not like the scavengers we faced before. This one is more advanced." And I climbed it doesn't under panic. Rian's eyes narrowed. "Show me." On the viewport, a sleek, angular ship appeared, glowing faintly with energy. Its design was alien, but unlike Kale's species, the ship seemed armed, disciplined, and deliberate. Rian's heart raced. Whoever this was, they were not here for trade or diplomacy. They wanted the alien vessel, and perhaps Kale himself. "Lyra, prepare the defenses," Rian said. "And Kale, I'll need your help." Kale's energy pulsed in agreement. "We must act carefully. They are not reckless like the scavengers, but they underestimate human resolve." Rian realized that the next battle would not just test his courage, but humanity's ingenuity. Together, he and Kale began activating systems throughout the ship. Energy barriers shimmered. Drones floated into strategic positions, and the vessel itself seemed to hum with anticipation. The alien ship approached, firing energy pulses. Rian manipulated the alien vessel's systems, redirecting the pulses harmlessly into empty space. Then he used a tactic Kale had suggested, merging human intuition with alien precision. They created a mirrored energy field that reflected the enemy's attacks back toward their own hull, forcing the intruder to veer off course. "Well done," Kale projected. "You are learning quickly." Rian grinned, though his hands were steady and precise on the controls. "It's all thanks to you. And a little human thinking." The enemy ship adjusted tactics, splitting into multiple vectors, trying to flank the alien vessel. Rian realized he had to think faster. He created holographic duplicates of the ship, confusing the attacker, while simultaneously activating energy nets that blocked boarding attempts. The battle raged for hours, a test of speed, strategy, and coordination. Rian's mind raced, anticipating every move, blending instinct with the alien technology he now understood. Kale guided him subtly, but allowed Rian to make critical decisions on his own. Finally, the enemy ship hesitated. Its systems, unable to counter the combination of human ingenuity and Kale's alien technology, began to fail. Rian seized the moment, using a pulse of energy to disable its engines and force it into retreat. Silence returned to the void. The alien vessel floated untouched, its systems humming gently, as if acknowledging the victory. Rian leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. Kale's energy pulsed warmly. "You have proven your species can be more than mere survival. You are worthy of trust and guidance." Rian exhaled, realizing the weight of what they had achieved. Humanity had faced threats far beyond what most could imagine, and had survived, using courage, creativity, and careful thought. "Now," Kale projected, "we must prepare for the future. There are others who will come, seeking what we protect, but together, we can guide humanity to a new role as guardians, explorers, and protectors." Rian nodded, understanding the truth of Kale's words. This was more than a ship, more than a mission, it was a partnership. Humanity had been given a chance to prove its worth, and now, under Kale's guidance, it could rise to new heights. The days that followed were filled with learning. Kale taught Rian to navigate alien star systems, to understand energy manipulation, and to unlock technologies that could benefit humanity without causing harm. Rian documented everything carefully, knowing that one day this knowledge could shape the future of his species. He also began to see the broader implications. Humanity could no longer be content with survival alone. With knowledge, courage, and moral responsibility, they could influence the galaxy in meaningful ways. Kale had seen potential in him, and by extension, in humanity itself. One evening, as Rian rested in the command chamber, he looked out at the stars. The galaxy seemed endless, filled with wonders, dangers, and mysteries. He thought of the battles they had faced, the scavengers, the advanced alien ship, and realized that humanity had proven itself capable not only of survival but of greatness. "Captain," Kale projected, "the next step is to return to your people. Show them the possibilities. Teach them the importance of responsibility and courage, and when the time comes, we will explore further together." Rian nodded. "I understand. But will they believe me? Will they understand what we've done?" "They will believe when they see the results," Kale replied. "And results will show the strength of your species." Rian smiled faintly. He knew it would not be easy, but he also knew that humanity had faced impossible odds before and had risen. With Kale's guidance, he could lead them into a future filled with discovery, courage, and protection. Weeks passed as Rian prepared the ship for the journey back to human space. He had learned to operate its systems, understand its technology, and coordinate with Kale's energy in ways that no human had ever done before. Lyra assisted, translating alien systems into forms humans could understand. Together, the three formed a unique partnership: human, AI, and alien, ready to face whatever lay ahead. When the time came to leave, Rian took a final look at the void. The abandoned vessel, once a lonely relic drifting through space, was now alive with purpose. Humanity had been tested, had proven its ingenuity and courage, and was ready to take on the responsibility of knowledge that could shape civilizations. "Are you ready, Captain?" Kale projected. Rian clenched his fists. "We are ready. Humanity is ready." With a hum of energy, the alien vessel activated its propulsion systems. Stars stretched into lines of light as they accelerated toward human space. Faster than any human ship had ever traveled, Rian felt a thrill unlike any he had experienced before. They were carrying not only knowledge, but a legacy, a partnership that could change the galaxy. As they emerged near the outer colonies, Rian's heart swelled. This was more than a mission. It was a chance to inspire humanity, to show what could be achieved with courage, creativity, and moral responsibility. And in the depths of space, Kale's energy pulsed softly, a constant reminder that humanity had been trusted with something far greater than survival. They had been given the chance to rise, and rise they would. Rian Voss smiled, feeling the weight and the promise of the future. Humanity was fragile, yes, but it was also brave, curious, and determined. With knowledge, courage, and guidance, they could protect the galaxy, explore its mysteries, and prove that even a species young by cosmic standards could rise to greatness. The alien vessel moved steadily through the stars, carrying its human captain, a centuries-old guardian, and a partnership that could reshape the future. Humanity's journey had only just begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Rian gazed at the stars, ready to face whatever came next. He had seen danger, survived it, and learned from it. He had earned Kale's trust, and humanity's potential had been recognized. "This is just the beginning," he whispered to himself, "and we will be ready for whatever comes." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of mystery, opportunity, and hope. And humanity, guided by courage and wisdom, would rise to meet them.